So now we shall be talking about the mite, right? So guys, if we talk about the mite, basically they are coming under the category of class Arachnida, right? So which class we are talking about? If we are talking about the mite, then it is the class Arachnida, right? And look at the morphology. You know guys, we are having two types of mite, as we have talked about the tick also, hard tick and the soft tick. Here also we are having two kinds of mite. What are the two kinds of mite you are seeing right now in front of your screen, right? This is the trombiculide mite, guys, which you are seeing on the left side. This is the trombiculide mite, okay? And on the right side, this is your itching mite or itch mite, right? This is your itch mite, right? Trombiculide mite, they are also called as chiggers. They are also called as chiggers. They are also called as berry bug, okay? If we talk about the itch mite, this is Sarcoptes scabiei, which is responsible for causing the scabies, right? Okay, so how they are looking, guys, let's talk about the morphology as well over here in itself. So if we talk about the morphology, right, very easy, what we can see right now, right? For an example, how many pairs of legs you are seeing, right? I can see that this is 1, 2, 3, 4. So they are having 4 pairs on both the sides, right? On one side 4 legs, on other side 4 limbs. So these are the 4 pair of legs. Here also I can see for the trombiculide mite. For the itch mite, there also 1, 2, right? 2 pairs anteriorly and 2 pairs posteriorly also, guys, right? The 4 posterior ones are not visible very clearly, but the anterior ones you can see very clearly over here, right? This is the image which you can find in the KOH mount, right? If you are suspecting the scabies in some patients, right, you are doing the KOH mount for that particular lesion, and if you are finding this particular image, then that you understand that you are right, and that is the Sarcoptes scabiei, which is moving over there just under the skin. It is moving, right? They are making a burrows. I will talk about the scabies, don't worry. So that is the thing, right, which we can find and which we shall talk about as far as itch mite is concerned. But first I will be talking about the trombiculide mite, guys, right? So let me just very briefly summarize the points over here as far as morphology is concerned. So I shall be writing that in the morphology section that they are having the 4 pair of legs. 4 pairs of legs are present over there, right? Along with that, they might be having the thicker anterior legs and the thinner posterior legs, right? Thicker and the longer anterior legs you can see over here. For example, here thicker and the longer anterior legs are seen, right? So thicker and longer anterior legs might be seen, especially in the itch mite, right? Okay, so now let me just start with the very first one, guys, that is the trombiculide mite. So here we are having two kinds of mites. One is the trombiculide mite, that is also called as the chiggers or the berry bug, and second one is the Sarcoptes scabiei, that is also called as the itch mite. So now let me take on the very first one, that is the trombiculide mite, okay? Trombiculide mite, I have already told you that they are also having the different names, chiggers or the berry bug. They are also called as the chiggers or the berry bug. Here these are the spider-like arthropods. They are looking like spider basically. That's why the resemblance is same as like the spider. So that's why they are calling that they are having the spider. They are actually the spider-like arthropods. They are saying that these are spider-like arthropods, right? They are the vectors for Scrub-Typhus, guys. So one more typhus came now, and this time this is the Scrub-Typhus, okay? So which typhus I am talking about? Scrub-Typhus, right? Basically, if we talk about this trombiculide mite, it might be having the infective and the biting stage, right? And usually the infective and biting stage is the larva, right? So sometimes they are asking us infective and the biting stage is the same only, is the one only, that is the larva, okay? That is the larva, okay? Please do remember that as well, right? That was MCQ once. And if we talk about the life cycle, right? If we talk about the life cycle of the trombiculide mite, as you can see over here, it's very simple life cycle. Basically, we are having the 4 stages as far as we are having the 4 stages as far as trombiculide mite is concerned. Same with the itch mite also we'll be talking about that they will be also having the 4 stages. But what are the 4 stages? That is the question over here. So first one, As usual, they are the eggs. Eggs will be, hatching into the larva. Then finally larva will be converting into the nymph, and nymph will be forming the adult. And adult, usually they are living in the soil, guys. Adult, they are living in the soil. Okay. Now we have talked about that which is a disease can be caused by the particularly, this particular trombiculate mite, that was the Scrub-Typhus. It is a vector for the Scrub-Typhus, and mainly it is causing the Scrub-Typhus in the hilly areas, guys, right? Mainly it is causing the Scrub-Typhus in the hilly areas, right? We are seeing in the hospital, some cases are there, they are positive for the Scrub-Typhus. Some patients are there, the symptoms might be the same like any other kind of viral or bacterial disease. For example, fever, myalgia, headache, right? Restlessness, fatigue. These could be the symptoms which we shall be seeing in the patients, right? So this is the Scrub-Typhus, right, guys, right? So basically Rickettsial orientalis, or we can say that Orientia sutsugamushi. These are the vectors which are actually responsible for causing this particular Scrub-Typhus, right? So basically trombiculate mite is the vector over here. These are the, which one I told you, that is the Rickettsial orientalis. These are the microorganisms which can be causing this, right? So I'm just writing it once again over here. So Rickettsial orientalis, right, which is also called as the Orientia, T silent over here, sutsugamushi, right? Sutsugamushi. This is the T is the silent over here. They are causing the Scrub-Typhus, right? They causes Scrub-Typhus. Okay, so very important for the exam, and I'm sure you must have studied this in your microbiology as well, right? Okay, so once we have talked about the trombiculate mite, guys, that's it about the trombiculate mite. It is having the 4 stages in its life cycle, right? Now we shall be talking about the itch mite. Okay, so second subtype over here in the mites, that could be the itch mite. And itch mite, I told you that it is the Sarcoptes scabiei. It is the Sarcoptes scabiei, isn't it? So if we talk about the itch mite, right, what are the salient features over here as far as itch mite is concerned, right? So itch mite, if we talk about, same morphology would be there, that they will be having the 4 pair of legs, and they will be having 2 anterior legs and the 2 posterior pair of legs. 2 anterior legs which I am talking about, they are most thicker ones, right, as compared to the posterior ones. So thicker anterior legs and thin posterior legs. I shall write it over here as well, that if we talk about the morphology of the itch mite, right, nothing new, it's just that 2 thicker pairs, right, thicker pairs of legs and 2 thinner ones, which are actually present posteriorly, right, posteriorly, okay, and they were present anteriorly, right. Now if we talk about the life cycle, guys, if we talk about the life cycle over here, right, let me talk about the life cycle of the itch mite. We have talked about the life cycle of the trombiculate mite already, that we were having the egg, then the larva, then the nymph and the adult, right? Egg, larva, nymph and adult, right? And here also we are talking about the same stages, but it's just that, first of all there would be the egg. Second one, it will be converting itself in 2 to 3 days into the larva, itch mite. Then it will be converting into the third stage, that will be the nymph, and then finally after 4 to 7 days it will be converting into the adult, right, adult female. That will be the 4th stage, obviously, that will be the 4th stage, right? Okay, so now what will happen, adult female now, right, they will be actually penetrating the skin, right, and they will be making a burrow, right, as you can see over here, just inside the superficial layer of the epidermis, right, just below the stratum corneum, they will be making up this burrow, and inside this burrow they will be laying their eggs, right, inside the burrow they will be laying their eggs, and then finally egg to larva to nymph to adult, and that's how the adult female will be lying over there, right, she will be present over there, and they will be making a burrows, right, and this is the disease which they are causing. This is named as the scabies, right? So itch mite is responsible for causing what disease, guys? Very common, frequently asking question in the in the dermatology also, the PSM also, that is your scabies, right? Okay, so now we shall be talking about the scabies, right? And if we talk about, because it is causing the scabies, right, how is it causing? Basically, what could be the mode of transmission? So mode of transmission could be simple, that is through the close contact, right? Through the close contact, or through the sharing of the clothes, right? Contaminated clothes basically, right? So what could be the mode of transmission? Mode of transmission, it can be easily transmitted, can be transmitted by either direct contact, right? Can be transmitted by direct contact, or by sharing contaminated clothes, right? By sharing contaminated clothes. Okay, obviously what it can cause? Itch mite or Sarcoptes scabiei, right? It can cause scabies, right? I'm just writing that in the bold letters, scabies. So now we shall be talking about the scabies now. Just a very few words about the scabies, right? So that we know that. So if we talk about the scabies, let's talk about the scabies, right? It is caused by what? It is caused by itch mite, that is Sarcoptes scabies. So what will be happening over here, guys? The itch mite will be burrowing through the skin just below the epidermis, that is just below the stratum corneum. You know, epidermis is having 5 stages in itself. You must have studied that in the dermatology. So you know, there is the stratum corneum, then stratum lucidum, right? Then the stratum granulosum, then the stratum spinosum, and then at last we are having the stratum basale, right? So just below the stratum corneum, right, they will be, you know, making a burrow over there, as we have seen that in the life cycle also, and they will be laying their eggs over there, and then finally the life cycle will be completing over there itself, and then that's how it is actually spreading, right? So by sharing the clothes and by the close contact, it might be spreading from one person to the another, obviously, right? Okay, so itch mite will be burrowing through the interdigital spaces, guys, you know, the interdigital spaces. So they will be affecting basically these particular spaces, and you can see, you know, kind of a you know, single line appearance can be seen over there, and basically these are these parts. However, other parts might also be affected, but these are most commonly frequently areas where the itch mite will be would be likely to live over there, right? So itch mite, basically itch mite, it will be burrowing through the interdigital spaces, right? Through interdigital spaces, and will be living there, spaces, and lives over there. Okay, one more point, guys, they are also known as, you know, due to that they are also known as the ovigerous burrows, because they are laying the eggs over there, ovigerous burrows, or they might also be called as the ovigerous tunnels, right? Okay, next point over here is that, you know, they are coming out usually at night time, right? They're coming out usually at night time, right? Why is it so? Because of comes out during night time because of vasodilation, right? Comes out generally during the night time due to vasodilation. Okay, due to vasodilation, or it might be coming out, right, when the person is taking the hot bath, right, hot water bath. So during that point of time also the vasodilation will be happening, right? Usually what happens, you know, usually when we are actually sleeping at the night time, you know, our whole body is covered under the blanket, even the hands and the legs are covered under the blanket. So now what will happen, due to the heat production, vasodilation will be happening, and due to that process they will be actually now coming outside. What coming outside? This itch mite will be actually coming outside, and the person will be having the severe itching, right? Whatever areas are affected, the person will be having, for example, interdigital spaces are affected, they will be having severe itching. At what point of time? During the night time. Why is it so? Because of the heat production inside the blanket, right? Due to the vasodilation, these itch mite will be coming outside. Same case will be happening with the hot bath also. When the person is taking the hot water bath, right, if the person is affected by the itch mite, then what would have been happened? Due to the vasodilation property, they might have come outside, and, you know, due to that the person's patients will be having the severe itching at that point of time. So usually when the patient is giving the history, they are telling us that, you know, they are having the itching usually at the night time or during the bathing time, right? So probably this could be the thing, this could be the reason, right, why they are having the itching in the night time or after the hot bath, right? Night time, or they might show symptoms right, during hot bath. Okay, during hot bath or nearby hot bath. Okay guys, one more thing I would like to mention over here, the life cycle, if you talk about, it is having a rapid life cycle. They complete their life cycle very fast. So egg, the conversion time period between the egg and the adult, as you can see in the image itself guys, they're just taking the 2 to 3 days from conversion of egg to the larva. From the larva to nymph, they are just 3 to 4 days. From nymph to the adult, they are just taking 4 to 7 days, right? So how many days they are taking? Around just a week or so, or just 2 weeks. In just 2 weeks, in just a matter of 2 weeks, they are converting from egg to the adult female. So just 2 weeks they are needing over this. That's why we are saying that they are having the rapid life cycle. How they get transmit through direct contact or by sharing the contaminated clothes, right? Once you have talked about that, what are the prevention methods guys? How we can prevent it? So the prevention methods over here, we shall be using, for the prevention purpose, we shall be using the 25% benzyl benzoate, right? 25% benzyl benzoate, and that is the drug of choice in this case, right? We will be applying it for around 2 to 3 weeks. We will be applying it for around 2 to 3 weeks, right? Other than that, what we shall use over here, we shall be using the lindane, right? Lindane over here, and we shall apply it for around twice a week, right? We shall be applying it twice a week, right? Any other option? Yes, we shall be using the permethrin cream, permethrin 5%. You usually in the dermatology clinics, right, we are prescribing the permethrin, right? And permethrin can be using over here. Along with that, we shall be using the crotameton, right? We shall be using the crotameton. Along with that, tetmosol ointment might also be useful. Tetmosol ointment might also be showing the effects, right? So that can also be used. Okay. So these are some preventive measures as far as scabies are concerned, and I was talking about that how they are actually making the burrows under the skin. So here I am trying to showing you the interdigital areas of action over here. So interdigital areas might be affected like that. Okay, and usually what you will be seeing in the scabies guys, that they will be making a burrow like this. It is not visible with this color. Maybe with this color it will be visible. So this kind of burrows can be seen like that. This kind of burrows can be seen like that. So in the burrows, they are laying their eggs, completing their life cycle very fast, and then adult females will be proliferating over there. They will be coming out during what time? Either during the night time, either during the hot bath. And why is it so? Because due to the property of vasodilation, right? So I hope guys you found it useful. That was about the mite section, where we have talked about the trombiculite mite and the H mite. Thank you.